the one thing in a car which is often seen as a luxury, as a deal breaker, but is seldom used, is the sunroof. Did you know that the Maruti, which is a 50% of the auto market share in the country, never sold a car with a sunroof? Now the Brezza comes with a sunroof. It's a big deal. Did you know that the Lamborghini Urus, which sells a car for 4.5 crores, doesn't come with the sunroof? You have to pay additional roughly 7.5 lakhs for the sunroof, the cost of the Brezza, that is. It's just not the sunroof. The Brezza has undergone a lot of changes. Let's start from the front. It looks more sharper, definitely. It comes with the new dual LED projector headlamps with these crystal blocks, DRLs. And again, this is a gunmetal finish, and they have put chrome garnish to make it look even more better. In fact, a lot of action happening here. There's a lot of creases here. This is a skip plate, the bumpers, everything looks and makes it look a little more sharper than the before. The tires now, 16-inch geometry cut alloy wheels, looks very sharp. Even this overall gives it up from the side a very butch look. And this thick cladding in black, which makes it look more bigger, also protects the car from these mini cuts and creases that you get when you're driving the car. Of course, it's a keyless entry here. The design element has undergone change from everywhere. Look at this rear. It looks more edgy with this angular lights here, with a clear Brezza badging. The smart hybrid talks about the technology inside, which we will talk about it while we are driving. Now, special mention about the bumper and the skid plate, which is silver color with 2 projector lights here, gives it a very distinct look. The boot is also very decent. It's about 328 liters of boot capacity. It doesn't get an auto tailgate button. You have to manually put it down, and it can hold some stuff for you. Let's step inside the rear seat right now. The leg room is plenty. As you can see right now, the co-passenger seat has been adjusted with the driver's position, and there's plenty of space here. What they've done is they've managed to squeeze the dashboard inside, which has resulted in liberating more space here. Of course, you get a central armrest here. You also get a C-type and A-type charging, which is again smart thinking of Maruti, because you need both the options. Right, you get a place to keep your magazine or an iPad, and you get speakers here. I would have liked if the sunroof would have come up till here. Since Maruti has debuted with the sunroof, they should have gone all out and made noise about it, but that's not too bad also. There's ambient lighting here, and for the middle passenger, it would be a squeeze because of this, the hump here. Interesting thing, this is labeled 4 kg, so it can carry weight up to 4 kg. It's a small hook here, which can be used to perhaps carry your coat, your liquids, your food items. If you're driving solo, if you want someone to carry it along, this could be used. I don't know what else can this be used for, but it's very thoughtful of Maruti. What do you think you will use this for? Why don't you drop in the comments and let us know what can this little hook be useful for. Interesting comments, please. And now it's time to check out the front. The first thing which hits you is a head-up display, which is, I think, the segment first, because the Venue doesn't have, the Thorn doesn't have, X3 doesn't have. I don't know about the rest, but this looks like a segment first, and they've done a better job in this because they've not only given the navigation sign but a lot more information, including the RPM meter. Now the steering wheel looks very premium with leather wrapped flat bottom steering, and this is telescopic with height adjustable also and otherwise. So this is a very, very welcome change in the Brezza. This is a honeycomb finish, walnut brown mesh in front of you with a touch of silver wrapping around the infotainment system. I'm not a big fan of the infotainment system because they could have done a better job. This looks somewhere like an aftermarket because this plastic shines on you, which is not a very premium feel. They have a wireless charger. They don't have wireless Apple Play and Android Auto, but they do have Apple Play and Android Auto with the wire, which is what you need to function even for your navigation. So you always need a smartphone to guide you, because this doesn't come with inbuilt navigation and it is very basic. Now another thing, Maruti doesn't tie up with a Sony or a JBL, but their speaker system has been tuned by Archimedes. It's not the most soulful, but it does get the job done. Talking about the seats, these are much wider seats. Again, special mention, I keep on talking about the seats because these are really very comfortable with very wide seat belts. There's storage here, there's storage there. They've also given a soft fabric which is very comfortable on the door card, which gives it again a premium look. It also comes with a 360-degree camera which gives you a complete perspective of your surrounding, and while reversing it's a very handy thing, and as you can see right now it's quite precise also and gives you all options to see from, which is again a new feature for the Brezza. So this is how all the features are. You can also get a lane change winker which you can connect to this, and you also get AC standard usage. You also get door unlock, you can put your functions here. And in case you want to know how much your car is doing in fuel, it also tells you the range and the average. But it's time to drive now. The best part about this driver's seat is the seat itself. The way it's positioned, the way it's cushioned, it's so comfortable that half the bumps and half the shocks don't even reach your body because it has been so well cushioned. You have to give it to Maruti to put that in a segment with so much of comfort, so much of softness and so much of cushioning across seats, not only the driver's seat, the co-passenger seat, the rear passenger seats. The way they have done it, I think it's a new benchmark for all other manufacturers to follow. And there's something that I've noticed that many people forget about it because they don't give that much importance to the cushioning of a seat, which is, I think, as important as perhaps a chassis or a suspension setup, because this is where you're sitting, this is where you're spending most of the time, and your back, body, everything is connected so much. Now this heads-up display also is a very welcome change in the Brezza because now I have all the information in my line of sight, which is very good because that's something which is missing in Venue. One more thing which is missing in Venue is the auto-dimming mirror. So two things Brezza has aced over Venue is the head-up display and the auto-dimming mirror, but they missed out on the electronic adjustments of the seat. I think if they were given that, then this could be really a good deal. Overall, in terms of driving mechanism, I would give Venue a little more weightage over the Brezza because I just drove the Venue in Hyderabad. It's very fresh in my memory, and I'm now driving the Brezza in Chennai. Both are South Indian roads, both are South Indian tarmac, so even the comparison test is very much on an equilibrium position. This is the new K series 1.5 litre dual jet dual VVT engine which produces 103 horsepower and 137 Nm of torque. Now, these numbers are not humongous, but it's not a performance car. There's also a smart hybrid system which has a dual battery setup which includes a lithium battery and which is supposed to increase fuel efficiency, reduce emissions. We'll get to know that when we get to spend more time with the car. It's also supposed to increase performance, but that's mediocre. But about the fuel efficiency, that we'll have to check when we are going to spend more time with the car. Another thing that we'll talk about is this gearbox. This is now a 6-speed automatic gearbox which replaces the old 4-speed torque converter. Now this 6-speed really changes the game a bit because now Brezza is more pleasure to drive. Now this steering is flat bottom. It is a very chunky steering to hold. It also has paddle shifters, which is very good because it's always playful to have paddle shifters. And in terms of handling, there's not much change from the earlier generation. It drives and performs very superbly on the road. But when you're going to hammer the accelerator, then the car will really not lug forward instantly as you would expect. Still has a bit of lag, and the engine will resist you because it's supposed to give you a very pleasurable sedate driving. You can't expect really a very instant pickup or acceleration or power because that's something which Brezza will disappoint you with. When I'm driving, I can see the bonnet in front of me. It gives me the feeling of a very tall boy SUV, which is a good thing. And the suspension setup is pretty pliant because also I think because of the cushioning in the seat, it's acted as a double layer and maybe works like somewhat like an air suspension in the back of your body. That's what a good cushioning does to you. We managed to get the Brezza to this beautiful Venue. And talking about the Venue, this definitely gives a very strong competition to the Venue. Brezza And finally, Maruti is giving us all those features that was lacking in otherwise robust Maruti cars. It now comes with a head-up display, it now comes with the sunroof, it now comes with a very soft cushioning. Even the gearbox has been changed. It's now 6-speed automatic transmission, which is amazing because right now the Brezza, it looks in its new avatar, looks a very well-propositioned, well-rounded car. Only thing is that whether you will go for this or you look at all the other competition, that's something that you have to decide. For us, it looks like a package which is quite difficult to resist. Would like to know your thoughts on the same. Do drop us in the comments. And until the next time, take care. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do that. We'll really appreciate that.